Oh, okay. Amanda, let's come to the substantive issue. Yesterday, the disciplinary committee of the Ghana Football Association issued a press statement to the effect that Far Rangers and as such, their directors, they've been banned from football for a period of 5 years. Let me get your take on it. How do you react to such a decision from the disciplinary committee?
It's regrettable because it seems a rather long time, even though it's in the statutes. Furthermore, due to the fact that Nana Yaw is CEO of Kotoko and perhaps the front runner, in terms of the GFA bid in 2 years' time, it does seem a bit regrettable. But the appeals committee does have an opportunity to review this within the next 3 days. And hopefully they'll make the decision that it's no ban. And Nana Yaw will bring forward an explanation as to why they withdrew their team without explanation. So he should give an explanation. And in so doing, perhaps he can not face this ban and, in fact, not face any ban, so that perhaps he can resume at Kotoko and then compete in the next 2 years as the GFA presidency.
Now, a lot of people wants to channel it to the fact that because Nana Yaw Amponsah is a threat to the current FA president for the FA chair, that is why they are trying to find ways and means to ban him so that he cannot be eligible to stand again for the FA presidency. Do you side with those with that assertion?
I wouldn't want to speculate, but I would very much urge the disciplinary committee or the appeals committee to review their decision because it's far too harsh, not showing up for one game, even without explanation at such a senior league. 5 years under the current circumstances perhaps is harsh. And perhaps Nana Yaw's team can bring forward an explanation as to why they didn't formally withdraw from the game. But I wouldn't want to speculate. But it does seem a little convenient, given that, Nana Yaw is doing a lot for Kotoko International in terms of sponsorship. So should he go for presidency in 2 years' time, he can showcase even more what he did at leadership level. But I wouldn't want to speculate. I just hope the appeals committee review the decision.
What makes you think the decision to ban Nana Yaw Amponsah for 5 years is too harsh?
Well, it's too harsh because it was one game. Secondly, he was CEO of Kotoko, which means that was his primary position. And so, as an executive of Far Rangers.
Hello, Amanda. Beautiful Amanda. Hello, Amanda, are you there? Okay. Kakai. Miss Yawa, my many friends, so lines and all. And I'm so once, why do you had on your original papa? And corner sabras. Aha. But whilst waiting for Amanda Clinton, as why she feels too harsh, action at Tennessee, Habib, the sports professor at Tennessee, Sanso and a friend could hit and swat Tennessee. At the far corner, Kwabena, the historian Francois Mungegi, one of Swat Tennessee. Abaja for Mam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Kofi.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mijis Biaboko.
Namiando, Mijis also here.
Oh, okay.
Admirako, I think community Diafe.
Okay, beautiful Amanda Esquire is back on the line. Hello, Amanda.
Hi.
Yes, you are trying to explain why you think the decision to ban Nana Yaw Amponsah from football-related issues for 5 years is too harsh. So I'm a lesson. What makes you think it's too harsh?
Well, it's too harsh because he withdrew as CEO of Far Rangers, and so he wasn't active in the day-to-day activities of Far Rangers. And as we have all seen, he was extremely active at Kotoko instead, and perhaps he wasn't part of that decision. Furthermore, during the appeal process, perhaps they can come up with an explanation as to why they withdrew from the game. And so in showing just cause, the ban can be lifted. But it's far too harsh. 5 years is too harsh for a senior administrator that could be the next president of GFA, and for someone who's worked tirelessly at Kotoko and perhaps has even raised more money sponsorship-wise than the GFA has in terms of sponsorship. So I just think that Nana Yaw and his team will really have to think about how they're going to put together this appeal, and so to act within the regulations to appeal this decision so that it can be completely reversed and he can return to his position at Kotoko International and run for president in 2 years' time.
So, having said this, are you prepared to help Nana Yaw Amponsah in any way if he calls upon you to help him in the appeal?
Of course. He's actually a friend of mine, so I will definitely contribute towards the appeal should he ask.
Okay. You keep on saying that Nana Yaw Amponsah possibly the next FA president. What have you seen? Do you think he's somebody capable of mounting onto that hot seat?
Definitely. I mean, I think the last almost 2 years at Kotoko has proven that. In terms of, during these times, it's very hard to raise money for a club, and he's been raising quite a lot of sponsorship money and getting a lot of attention from sponsors who perhaps are a bit wary of the GFA tag in terms of the reputation. And so in being able to build corporate, social responsibility and to bring money to Kotoko, that's one of the best ways to showcase yourself when you're running for president in terms of a rerun. So I do think he has added a lot to his bow being at Kotoko. So it would be quite a shame that if that was completely cut short and he was prevented from competing at the presidency in 2 years' time.
Ash 101.1 FM. We are talking to a once FA president aspirant, beautiful Amanda Clinton Esquire on the disciplinary committee's ban on Nana Yaw Amponsah. Amanda, you said the decision is very harsh. What do you think could have been the ideal situation on this?
The ideal situation is perhaps, at most, a 1-year ban for missing one game at the senior level, and also ensuring that with the appeals process that they really do review whatever is put forward by Nana Yaw Amponsah's team. For instance, they can become more prepared and put forward an explanation as to why they missed that game. If the explanation is accepted, then they have a force in the game. So things like that help with the appeal. But 5 years is far too harsh for a senior administrator over one missed game. We're not talking about corruption or anything, that is more tangible. This is like one missed game. So I think the appeals committee should have a discretion, particularly if they have just cause and they present that cause.
Okay. So once you've made yourself available, that should Nana Yaw Amponsah and his team consult you for the appeal, you are ready to help him. We will just see how best Amanda Clinton can help Nana Yaw Amponsah for this ban to either be bequeathed or be reduced to the 1 year that you think could have been the ideal situation. Amanda Clinton, thank you so much for talking to us, FM.
I don't think it should be banned at all if they can prove just cause of why they missed the game. So I wouldn't even say a 1 year ban. I would say nothing, and at most a 1 year ban.
Oh, okay. So thanks so much for talking to us, FM. We have to talk to you some other time.
Thank you.
But before you take leave of me, will we see Amanda Clinton coming for the next election again? Omelet ha no mtio onya tete nki wa bo won tie hwebie wo chairman solom de wo wi wo se won motete kire wo tie de obeka na kire no enti no Amanda Clinton no de abo so bo ana anza de obeka na